up? Oh, it's Greggatron. Enjoying this wonderful day. Today is Sunday, March 8th, 2026. In central Illinois, it's about 66 degrees. That's the high anyway. I don't know if it's 66 right this minute, but it's pretty decent out. I went to the park, went for a walk, took the dumbbells. Speaking of which, those are still sitting in the car. Took some 15-pound dumbbells, did some twist curls. That's when you do, it's like half a hammer curl. And then you twist it. Because when you get that twist in, it hits different areas of the bicep. Whether it be a traditional curl or a hammer curl, but when you twist, you get both. So I did those. Did some skull crushers with the 15-pound dumbbells. A lot of those. That was nice. Did some front delt raises at the park with the dumbbells. That was nice. Did some side delt raises. What hit me the most was the lunges. I did some lunges with the 15-pound dumbbells. So that was interesting. And I could really feel my cardio. I could really feel my heart kicking in when I was doing the lunges. So that was nice. I probably did 20 to 30 to 40 lunges at a time. And that's what got my heart elevated was the lunges more than anything else. And it was kind of windy at the park. But after I took that lap of walking with the dumbbells, excuse me, after I did that, I sat down and chilled. I almost fell asleep at the park. It was so peaceful and nice. Well, then there was somebody who was smoking. I think they're like smoking blacks. I'm like, y'all really got to bring that mess to the park where people got their little kids and where there's old people and whatnot. I'm like, these people, man. Anyway, there was a group of people there. They were playing Magic. Y'all know that game, Magic. Not only were they playing Magic, but they were in costume. So one guy, I thought it was a chick, but no, this was a straight up dude. This dude had like a kilt on. A kilt or something. But he had the archery going, had the bows and arrows. I'm like, well, I don't see any targets. So I wonder if he's shooting at anything in particular or if he just has it for decoration. I'm just thinking out loud, right? So they had that going on. And then this one dude, he had like a shield, but it was made out of, it appeared to be like a floating device. What up, Shiki baby? I was just saying I went to the park earlier and I saw some characters out there in costume. But yeah, he had a shield. It looked like a Cheerio, like a flotation device. But real quick, since you're here, Shiki baby, I saw y'all's video from yesterday with you and Limit Breaker Joseph going live. That was nice. I think Joseph clipped a video that was about 4 minutes long. He clipped it from y'all's live stream, which was yesterday, I guess. What up, I'm talking about Shiki Baby and Limit Breaker Joseph had a collaboration yesterday. It was dope. That inspired me actually. So after I saw that video, I came out here to the garage before I even went to the park. And I wrote it down in my notebook, but it's all in here. I did the push ups where you do like a plank, then you push up one at a time, then you go back down, then you push back up, then you go back down. I did 2 sets of those to failure. That was nice. Thanks, it was today. He forgot. Okay. He forgot to hit record until. Really? 200 reps later? Wow. Limit Breaker Joseph. I know he goes by a different name now. I still call him Limit Breaker Joseph because I can't get readjusted to the new name. He'll always be Limit Breaker Joseph to me. You know what I'm saying? That's the homie. He still goes by it, but he has a new character name. But anyway, it was a really inspiring video, even if it was 4 minutes long. I just thought he clipped it. But when I saw it, I was like, man. And then at the end, one of y'all said, same time next weekend? Okay. So I'm like, I might have to jump in there next time. I might have to mess around with y'all. Because that was some good work. They did the push ups where, towards the end anyway, where they lay on their stomach and they separate their arms, then they push back up, go down, take their arms out of it. I'm like, all right. So there's some Mike Tyson action going on. I won't chat much. That's okay. I'm going to play a game, but I'll stick around. All right. It's all good. It's all good. That's okay. Hey, as long as you stopped by and said what up, I'm cool with that. What game, if you don't mind me asking? That's one thing what sucks about listening to stuff while you're playing a game. For one, man, we're not the best multitaskers. And me personally, I like to be in the chat sometimes in the middle of playing a game. But if I'm in the game, now I gotta pause it. But depending on what game I'm playing, you can't pause it, depending on the mode, the challenge mode. So I just type something real fast. But that just means there's not enough hours in a day. And I believe that. You truly do have to prioritize what you do within these 24 hours. So that's why I'm thankful that you guys are here. Because you don't have to be here. You can be chilling with somebody else. I'm boring these days. I play a hunting game. Hunter Call of the Wild. Never thought I'd play a hunting game, but here I am 4 years later. So you've been playing it for 4 years? When I saw Hunter Call, I'm thinking Hunter Call of Duty. No, Hunter Call of the Wild. Never heard of it. But hey, if you enjoy it, be my guest. You have the right to play a game where you hunt whatever you want to hunt. Do you hunt in real life or just in the game? You look like a hunter. You got that beard. You look like a wild man. The body beat down. Like you can't wait till it's deer season. You're one of you're one of those people who'd be like, deer season's right around the corner. I got my permit. I got my rifle. I got my ammunition. I bet that's you. You're one of those guys who your homies call when there's a zombie apocalypse. Because in your basement, behind that wall with all the He-Man figures, you probably got all kinds of guns. All kinds. But yeah, your He-Man collection is decent. Super decent. Yes. Sheiky baby, do it to it. Let's see. Oh, what up? Alien spaceship. My boy. What is good with you, sir? I'm just chilling in the garage. Never hunted, don't fish. Never been camping. What the? Looks can be deceiving. You need to shave that beard off then, buddy. Because you got that caveman style going. Even I've been fishing, man. What the? I haven't been fishing in a while. He said don't fish. He didn't say he never fishes. Or he's never fished. So you fished before. You just haven't hunted. I mean, technically fishing is hunting because you're hunting for fish. I don't know why they call it fishing. That's like a ongoing long joke. Why is hunting called hunting and fishing's called fishing? So how come when you're hunting you're not calling that deering? Because usually that's what they're hunting for is deer, right? Or why don't they just include fishing with hunting? Because you do need a permit to go fishing, but I guess they're different permits for fishing than it is hunting. Maybe that's why they separate the two. Because I think one is probably going to be more expensive than the other. But both of them are kind of seasonal. Like you don't fish in the winter because everything's frozen. And you only go hunting in what? The fall, I think? I mean, they could combine it into the same permit, you would think, but then probably one side would lose too much money. I don't know. Who? I didn't make the world. I'm doing well, he says. I have been going on conspiracy theory rabbit holes. Oh. So you're not doing the trials anymore? You're done with those? Because the last one I saw you doing was the O.J. Simpson trial, which was kind of fun. It's so interesting when you look back on that stuff now, after everything's out, all the information, all the knowledge. It's interesting when you look back at it 30 years later and you see what they didn't know back then. You're watching them discover the information in real time. But 30 years later, we already know now. That's interesting to me. It's kind of like you're time traveling. Do you ever watch documentaries or trials or anything from the past? And you kind of like want to talk to the TV and say, no, it's like this. This is the information. This is what happened. This is what's going down. But they can't hear you. It makes you wish you could time travel. Like you could time travel to the courtyard and tell them what's going on, save them the trouble. Because that trial took like a decade. That was a long trial. That was one of the longest trials. It probably was the longest trial in American history. Yeah, man. I am still going to look at OJ. I go through cycles. Okay. Because it was so long, I'm thinking he can't be done with that trial already. Because you just started on it like 2 weeks ago. And prior to that, you were doing. What's that guy's name? That rapper guy. And I was like, who is this person? Who are y'all talking about? Um, Dang it, who was it? You know these new rappers, they all sound the same. Alien Spaceship says, oh, I agree, Greg. Oh, I know exactly what you mean. True. It's kind of funny how I can read your words, but I can picture the way you sound when I read it. That just means I watch you too much. That's funny. It's kind of like when you read a text message from a family member or a friend, and you can hear that person's voice in your head while you read their words. That's it. Thank you, Rich Homie Quan. I'm like, I'm like, who is Rich Homie Quan? What's this all about? Then Alien Spaceship had to go explain it to me. I'm like, this sounds like a. It was about snitching, and the police were trying to get one group to snitch on the other one. And then Rich Homie. I can't say Rich Homie Quan. That just sounds ridiculous. Anyway, something had happened, and the cops were questioning both sides. And one guy was like, I don't talk to police. And the cop's like, why not? He's like, because I just don't. Because y'all always know my routine. Y'all know what I'm doing. It was a big old mess. Rich Homie Quan. How do you come up with that name? I don't know. Because I was actually at work when you were playing that. And I'm just tuning in on my little job, doing my. I'm like, what's this man playing? Who is Rich Homie Quan? Yeah, laughing face emoji is right because it sounded so ridiculous, but you were taking it seriously. Like these are believable characters. If your name is Rich Homie Quan and your homies have names similar to that, I'm not gonna take them seriously, whether they're the victim or the suspect. If your name is Rich Homie Quan, I'm throwing everybody in jail. Like you, come here. But officer, I'm the victim here. I don't care. With the name Rich Homie Quan, you're coming with us, buddy. We're not we're not taking this seriously. This is not real. They're probably like, sir, what's your real name? Because your name ain't no Rich Homie Quan. We're gonna call you Alexander. You know. Woody was on the stand talking about, yeah. It just sounded so unprofessional when they were talking. It sounded as if I couldn't take it serious, as if it was like a skit, like a Chappelle skit or something. I'm like, what is this? There's a bird that's just sailing, and it looks like a falcon. He's not even flapping his wings. He's just sitting there in the sky, chilling, just soaring. They asked him how old he was. He said grown. Yeah. It definitely felt like a. Oh, that other one, before you got to the Rich Homie Quan one, that was ridiculous. So, for those who don't know, Alien Spaceship, he covers trials on his channel, and they review different incidences, what happened historically. And they go over different things, how the people felt at the time, how people feel now, how do they come to this conclusion, blah, blah, blah. There was a different trial that Alien Spaceship covered prior to the Rich Homie Quan trial, right? This guy, I don't even remember what he was being accused of, but his whole thing was, I don't understand. I don't understand. And he's like going back and forth with this judge for many, 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 many minutes. And the judge, shout out to her, she was trying to keep her composure. She was trying to stay civil with this gentleman, right? But every time she said something, this guy just was so quick to answer back, knowing he didn't have an understanding. But with that said, he would continue to interrupt and then just say, well, Judge, I don't understand. I don't understand. Well, I'm thinking, if you don't understand, then shut the heck up so she can explain it to you. And she would say, okay, your charges are going to be X, Y, and Z. But every time she said something, this guy would say, Judge, I'm asking you a question, but I don't understand, Judge. And as clear as she tried to be with him, the guy was just not having it. That was his whole spew, the whole video. He was saying, I don't understand. I don't understand, Judge. And I think on the inside, she was getting ticked. Because I'm thinking, how do you put up with that? You remember that trial, Daryl Brooks. And I'm wondering, I wonder if he's trolling this judge. Because a normal human being wouldn't act like that. He was totally trolling her. And she just had to be professional. Like, no, forget that. She should have threw the book at that man. And she's just being so polite. Nah. She should have picked the book up, closed it, walked up to him, and threw the book right at him. Talking about, I don't understand. Y'all been sitting there for hours, probably days. Had recess, multiple recesses, came back. And this man gonna come back talking about, I don't understand, Judge. The only thing I did was rob a bank, allegedly. No, I'm playing. He didn't rob a bank. It was something else he's being accused of. But I'm at work listening to this stuff. I'm like, he's not giving up. He's just not. But he was so slick with his words. The motorcycles are out. He was so slick with his words. I think he believed two things. Number one, he believed he could talk his way out of it. Number two, he believed he would take the judge off so badly that she would say something. Basically, he would gaslight the judge so badly that he would undo everything she was saying. I think that was his intention. Because in many cases, he just played dumb by saying, I don't understand, Judge. But that judge wasn't going. That judge is like, you ain't gaslighting me, buddy. She's like, she's like, I know my job. She's like, I know right from wrong. I'm right, you're wrong. That man kept saying, I don't understand. And he spoke very clearly, very articulately. He sounded pretty smart. He was like the dumbest smart guy. Either that or he was the smartest dumb guy. But I think he fully understood what he did. He was just giving her the ring around. But so what was his sentence? Alien spaceship. Oh, he did. Daryl is a snake. Yeah, because he was smart. You could tell by how he spoke, he was smart. But the way he tried to talk himself out of that stuff, he would basically put the judge down a maze. He would put her down a wormhole, basically to where she couldn't find her way back out of the wormhole. Because he would just keep going deeper and deeper and deeper. But the judge kind of knew what he was doing. So what she did, she pretty much kept a mental note as to where she was. And she wasn't going to let him take her down that wormhole, basically, as Alien Spaceship. So for those who don't know, Alien Spaceship's favorite words are basically, and what's the other one? What's that word you be saying? Also, yeah, also and basically. He'd be calling an ABO show. And when he changes topics, he'd be like, and also. So when I'm listening, when Alien Spaceship says also, I say also. And then I'd be saying, basically, I got that from him. I wasn't familiar with those two words, basically, and also before I met Alien Spaceship. I didn't know those words were in the dictionary at all until I heard this gentleman. Also, and basically, yeah, that's my boy. I'm sipping on some Simply drink right now. The sun is going down right in my face. Yeah, scared is another one. I can't remember where scared came from, but I do like basically. You ever watch The Office with Oscar? Oscar is the Hispanic, not morally straight dude, and he's like the smartest guy in the office. So whenever Steve Carell or Dwight Schrute or Jim or anybody is wrong about something, especially when it comes to like history or mathematics or stats or something, Oscar be like, actually. So they had a whole montage of moments when Oscar's like, well, actually, yeah. That reminded me when Alien says, basically, Oscar be like, well, actually, yeah. Yep, you remember that stuff. Good show. Great. I got the whole thing on DVD, the whole box set from, I want to say Walmart had it. I don't think Walmart has it now, but you can definitely get it from eBay. eBay has some good stuff for pretty decent prices, depending on who you're getting it from. I always check the shipping and handling. A lot of times the stuff will be cheaper, but with the shipping and handling, still the same price as its counterpart. So a lot of times I'll just get it for the free shipping and just pay the extra fee. Because whether it's free shipping or not, it still kind of adds up depending on how they price it. So whatever. But yeah, I got that from eBay. I get a lot of stuff from eBay. Figures, some statues. Most of my prints I get from comic shops and whatnot. Swords I usually get from the sword shop in person. I have gotten some online, like my saber from Gil Hibben. That was on the internet. But most of my swords I get, like these in the background. Yeah, vintage comics. These I got in person. Those are mostly Boken. That's practice swords, for those who don't know. It's kind of hard to see with the Cult of Athena has good sword. I might have seen that before. They're a pretty big website, am I right? You got swords at home? If so, I want to see. You'll have to show them off next time. Or just make a video. Me personally, when I show stuff off, specific things, DVDs, games, whatever, I like to make videos, toys, swords. Because if I do a live stream and do a show and tell, I don't know how long that live stream is going to be. Whereas if it's a video, I can make a 10, 15-minute review on a specific thing and just be done with it. That way it's specifically geared towards those people who are into that one thing. Whereas when I go live about different things. So depending on what people are focused on, they might not even see it, if that makes sense. When I do go live, it's normally about like lifting weights and stuff. But I have gone live just to say what up, like I'm doing now. But it was such a beautiful day. I wanted to spend some time in the garage anyway. And I did that earlier, like I said. Before I went to the park, I did some training in here. I had some legs with a leg press machine for like 3 minutes straight. Not super heavy weight. I did some good mornings for the lower back. That actually felt really good. I did a lot of reps of that. And I just did some standing shoulder press with the 40-pound dumbbells. And like I said earlier, I did the plank push-ups. 2 sets of that to failure. But yeah, usually when I go live, I do stuff like that. But like I said, it was such a nice day. I was like, man, I got it. Even when I got home from the park, I was like, I gotta spend some time in the garage because it's just too nice. No one has their AC on or their heat. That's nice. It's nice when you can just turn it off altogether. When there's just no airflow, but maybe have a fan on. Or the fan. But it feels so good to just not have on AC or heat. It's about 50. Okay. So it's like, it's closer to 60 something here. Who is that? That's Jamie. What up? I can't really see because it's so sunny. The sun's going down a little bit here. And it's like right there in my face. But when I started, the sun was not right there in my face like that. Jamie, this is Alien Spaceship, Jamie Russell, aka Ethan Hawke. Alien Spaceship says facts. I don't know what you're saying facts to. Was it the weather or the live thing or the weightlifting thing? Yes, look at it. This. Yeah. That's my word. Yeah, so tell me about uh, y'all's experience yesterday. So you met Tommy before, prior to yesterday? Because there's a guy who I follow on YouTube. I can't remember his name, but I just started watching him the weekend of y'all's wedding. Because I was in Portland, right? And Nick Shirley was there that weekend in Portland. So I was watching some Nick Shirley stuff, but I was also watching this other dude who I can't remember his name right off the top of my head. But he's friends with Tommy. And when Tommy goes live, he's basically streaming directly to the other dude. So you're getting it from 2 different people. So on this other guy's show, he's basically promoting Tommy. And everybody in the chat, we all love Tommy. Because he be talking stuff. And he's like a celebrity. And then people in the chat were saying, whenever he's not showing off the Tommy stuff, because sometimes he just does other stuff outside of Tommy, people in the chat are like, hey, where's Tommy? He's like, well, I don't have anything on Tommy right now. And people are actually like depressed when Tommy is not streaming, or when or when this other guy is not showing Tommy stream anyway. Because people just love seeing him because he loves to interact with people and he loves talking stuff. And he doesn't care if you love it or hate it. And he doesn't care who he offends. And he be talking so much stuff. And he just does not care. When I say Tommy doesn't care, that man does not give a dang what you think and who you stand for. He be going in. So when you guys were right there with Tommy, I was like, oh, snap. You mean old boy who be live streaming all the time, getting all these views? And the lefties, they hate him. they really hate Tommy because he doesn't put up with their mess. And he just says raw, blanket truth right to their face. And they be hating that. He's been attacked, I'm sure, more than once. Because, yeah, Jamie said he had a bodyguard yesterday. And Tommy's a pretty big dude. He looks pretty tall on camera, but he's a solid dude. So the fact that he still needs security, what does that tell you? That means your enemy is not playing around. Your enemy is not playing. Let me read this before it gets too high up. Oh, okay. Facts about swords. Facts about making videos. Yeah, Tommy is cool people. If you can, you should collaborate because he's real fun from what I've seen. I was on Gangster Ghost live stream. You see the sunlight, man? This is horrible. I was on Gangster Ghost live stream and I went up and talked to Tommy on camera. Okay, cool. And you can get yourself out there. If you guys can collaborate more and more, that'd be dope. Because we're all fighting the same war. Like, we need people like him on our side. We need people who stand for truth. And he is one individual, kind of like Nick Shirley. He's not afraid to spread truth, which is amazing to me. Because these guys are in danger. That's why I said yesterday, I'm like, get out of there. Because I don't know what these people are going to do to Terry. But yeah, these guys, in many cases, they put themselves in harm's way. But Tommy does not. Tommy will walk around in circles with his little body cam on, talking stuff. And they were following him around and everything. I'm like, y'all wild. And I'm thinking in my head, like, man, I wish I could be there. Talk some sense. Talk some sense into some people. Because I tried that before. I don't want to say where I was, but I was at a rally. And I was trying to talk some sense into some people. Oh, look. Looks like Jamie's going live. Or he just made a video. I was talking some sense to some people at a rally once, years ago, and they kicked me off the podium because there was too much truth I was speaking. They said, this ain't what this rally is about. We're supposed to be hating our fellow man. You can't be up here telling us to take responsibility. You guys to go. Oh, okay. So you don't really care what we the people have to say. And it was one of those rallies to where after the rally is over, everybody can come up and speak if they please. Nah. They just want you to speak if it fit their narrative, if it fit their agenda. But if you disagreed or had opposite views, they didn't want you anywhere near that podium. I'm like, so you just don't like my free speech. You like your free speech. You just don't like mine. You see how the sun's barely dipping behind my house. See that? All right, I can take my glasses off. There was a pro-Trump rally down at not Times Square, but at the square. Bunch of Iranians praising Trump for his for ousting the Iranian government. Okay, nice. It was fun. Yeah. Make sure you guys add each other if you haven't. Tommy is cool people. I don't think he knows who I am, but I sent a super chat once to the other guy who streams Tommy, and I don't think he knows me either because I'm not in his chat like that, but I try to say what up to people if I can. I have been at 4 or 5 of those rallies now. All right. Hey, stay safe, man. We don't need nothing happening to you. like I said, they don't care, man. They don't care if you're 6'3". They don't care if you're a man or female. They don't care. The minute you stand against them, they take you as a physical threat, like you're threatening them physically, which you're not. You're just using words. But they take that stuff seriously, bro. They see you as the enemy, the pure enemy, and they don't want you anywhere near those rallies. Now, if you have blue hair and nose rings and rainbow flags, and they'll welcome you with open arms. They'll cheer you on. Yeah, come on, come stand with us. If you have on a MAGA hat, my boy, nah, they're gonna try to string you up by your toes. But they're supposed to be so loving and embracing and caring and no, they're not. They do not. I mean, look what happened to Charlie Kirk. That guy had nothing but love. So much love. He's like, I want to go to different campuses and talk to kids about some truth, what's going on in the world. He got killed for that. Just for spreading opinion, information, truth, honesty, Christianity. So when I see these rallies now, I kind of want to be there, but I don't, because I understand they really don't want to hear it. They're just going to reject it. That, and after what happened to Charlie Kirk, I'm like, these people don't care what you think. They already live in a bubble. They don't care that we used to be Democrats and now we're not. You know what I'm saying? You would think that alone would be enough to wake people up. Like, if I were to tell somebody, hey, I used to be a Democrat, I used to think like you, and this is how I changed. This is why I think the way I think now. They don't care about your backstory. They don't care about how you woke up, your red pill moment, because they're so sunken in that wormhole. They're sunk in it way deeper than we used to be. You know, I was a liberal socially. These people are, their whole ideology, everything about them screams basically hatred for Trump. That's all they care about. So I'm curious, hey, it's Terry. We're just talking about talking to people at these public events and how they act, but they really don't want to hear it. Not at all. Were you a liberal in that video? I mean, technically, yeah, from 14 years ago. That was like spoofing Jerry Springer and Steve Wilkos, basically. That was fun. And I wish I made more videos like that when I was a kid. Because me and my friends, we liked doing it. We just didn't get together that much to do it. And if we did get together, we would do other stuff like play basketball and stuff. But those are fun times. Doing the little Jerry Springer voice. But yeah, I was telling Jamie, Terry, y'all need to be careful. And they don't care if Terry is in a chair or not. Imagine if Terry shows up to a rally with a MAGA hat on. They ain't gonna care that she's in a scooter. They're gonna be like, who is this B word in this chair with his MAGA hat on? Get this B word out of here. They don't care. But I thought you guys love everybody, right? No, they don't. Even the January 6th people, the old people who were there, who were just there, those people celebrated when those people got thrown in jail. Yeah, throw them in jail. What did that old lady do? It doesn't matter. She was there. She needs to be in jail. Right, but what did she do? I don't care. She's a Trump supporter. Get it? These people. Oh, speaking of Terry, check this out. I brought some. I just pulled this out of nowhere. Simply mango juice in the house. I told my friend here, thank you. I told my friend said, what are you doing later? I said, I am going to go in the garage and hang out and drink some Simply drink. That's my plan. And it was so nice. I said, yep, man, go. So would you still say the blueberry is your favorite, or do you think there's another one out there potentially that has surpassed the good blueberry? What are people, drag racing or something? I still think the blueberry is the best. I like the mango. Am I on? Am I on? Can you still see me? Can you hear me? If you didn't catch that, I was just saying, it's like there's an explosion of activity in my taste buds. Oh, it glitched. It said reconnecting, then there was a circle going. Then I just lost some views, so yeah. Dang technology. Causing people to tune out. Yeah. I am partial to the blueberry still, but I think I could change. It's possible. See, we might be in love with the blueberry one because we kind of hyped it up. But there might be a flavor out there that's like low-key better. We just been sleeping on it. So maybe it'll sneak up on us when we're not expecting it. We'll drink a different flavor and then be like, oh snap, it's Pinocchio's helicopter. Okay, so I uploaded this is why I like going live, because I don't talk about anything in particular. Oh, thanks for hitting the like button too. I don't talk about anything in particular for the most part. I just pretty much say what you guys are putting out. I respond to y'all. Anyway, yeah, Snap is right. So I just uploaded my Jasmine. I just uploaded my Jasmine Cricket video today on Greg's Clips. It's like 40 minutes. It's funny. If you haven't seen it, hit the watch later button. But my favorite part is when I sent a super chat saying, Jesse, I'm hard of hearing. Can you help me? Are you saying Jasmine Crockett or Jasmine? No. I say, Jesse, are you saying Jasmine Crooked or Jasmine Cricket? And then Jesse's like, he waits a second. And then it shows all these different moments of him saying Crockett, Crooked, Cricket. And then he comes back and he's like, Jasmine Crooked. And then Hank's like, Crooked. But anyway, I tagged Pinocchio's helicopter and I gave you a shout out at the end. And there's a special surprise at the end. But I tagged Terry and Pinocchio and others. But I still can't tag Amy Russell for some odd reason. It won't let me. I don't know what that's about. But I used to be able to tag you in my videos. So that's why I just sent a text message. But yeah, speaking of text messages, Pinocchio's helicopter. We need to exchange information. We need to talk, son. We have much to discuss. Yeah, Jasmine Ratchet. Jasmine Ratchety Jasmine Ratchet Strap. I mean, she's just. How you gonna insult Hispanic men who don't support socialism and then be surprised when you lose your race? Because she was already talking stuff about certain groups before her race was even happening. Like, not all Hispanics think the same. Biden could have told you that. What did Biden say? He said, unlike the black community, the Latino community is a very diverse community. Y'all better listen to Sloppy Joe. Even he knew that. He didn't know where he was. But yeah, I'm glad she didn't win. Cause that race hustling stuff is old. Like really old. She was like a modern day race hustler from the 60s or the 70s. She was talking blackety black stuff as if black and white is still a thing. Like as if there's a civil rights movement happening right now. Like, B word, you're 41 years old. No one's thinking about color. You're a congresswoman. You made it. You're a successful person. We don't care if you're the first black, second black, third black, fourth black to do whatever. Just do your dang job. And that's why that guy beat her. Because he wasn't a race hustler in the way she was. He's woke. This however you say his name, Talarico, he's woke too, but he's quiet about his wokeness. He doesn't let his wokeness be heard with a megaphone. But her, all she does is yell and scream and B word and moan, and it's a real put off. It's a turn off. And as a black man, I just hate to hear that stuff. You B wording about blackety this and blackety that, and you're in Congress. Like, you're supposed to be coming up with laws to help people, to make people's life a better place. But all you do is yell racism every 5 seconds. In 2024, 2025, 2026, you're still hollering racism at the age of 40. Like, is there anything else you can offer us? Is the white man that bad? She hates Elon Musk. She hates Trump. She hates Doge. She hates everything, really. Now she's mad that her own party, see, I'm getting deep now. Her own party turned its back on her. But in the beginning, they prompted her up. Remember on the news, they were saying, look, Jasmine Crockett, she's the upcoming star in the Democratic Party. She's the new future voice. They were saying that, right? She's all over social media. She's blasting Trump. She's criticizing Musk. Her voice is being heard. Yeah, by Black Twitter. But that's about it. But remember when they were prompting her up? Remember? Then the Democratic Party said, we like her spirit, but she's too ghetto for us. We can't back her. We like that she hates Trump. We like that she hates Musk. But we can't stand behind her in a real election because they knew she was too ghetto. And how would it look? Even Obama knew this. And he's the one who tried to tell us to vote for Camilla because we black. Even Obama was like, I'm not backing this one. Oh man. So she's understanding now. Okay, these people don't really love me. They were just using me to rile up hatred for Trump. But they couldn't use her anymore because they knew she couldn't win that election. So they didn't promote her. She had to promote herself, and they essentially turned their back on her. But what'd you think was going to happen? These people turned their back on RFK Jr. They turned their back on Tulsi Gabbard and many, many others. Joe Manchin, Fetterman, like these people understand that the Democrats are radical now, like really radical. These people are understanding, man. And Kennedy said it best. RFK Jr. Kennedy's like, my whole family, we're all Democrats. He said, I'm a Democrat like my uncle was, but I don't recognize this party anymore. He said, this isn't the party my uncle stood for. He's looking around at people like Jasmine Cricket and Rashida Tlaib and Elian Omar. He's like, this is not my uncle's party. And that's not even why he left, not yet. Well, then when he started to run for president, his own party ousted him, talking about, oh, he's a quack doctor, he's this, he's that, he's on drugs, he has a bad voice, he's a traitor to his own party. RFK Jr.'s like, I'm the same dude who my father was and my uncle. You guys are the ones changing. You guys are the ones acting crazy. So he's like, you know what? Don't even worry about it. I'm gonna hang out with Trump's people. And guess what happened? Trump's like, hey, I don't agree with everything you're saying and doing, but you are smart when it comes to this specific thing. So you know what? I want to hire you to work for me so you can get this health under control. I'm going to put you in charge of the health department. I'm going to make you Secretary of Health. So together, we're going to make America healthy again. And people who hate Trump, they don't even care about that. Trump is hiring Democrats. That's how much they hate him. Yeah, Trump is a legend. I was talking to a guy at work probably 2 weeks ago about this. He's a Trump hater. And I don't even bring Trump up like that, but I only talk to him about Trump because he talks to me about Trump. Well, they're talking about, Trump shouldn't be putting his name on the Kennedy Center. I said, well, I probably wouldn't have done that, but hey, he re-renovated it, didn't he? He renovated it. It doesn't matter. He shouldn't be doing that, they said. That's Kennedy's place. I said, Kennedy works for Trump. These people told me, no, he doesn't. Kennedy's dead. I said, the nephew works for Trump, man. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. I said, you don't know that RFK Jr. works for Trump? No. These people didn't even know that RFK worked for Trump. And they're mad that Trump put his name on the Kennedy building. I'm like, you can't talk to these people. Then I try to say, well, do you think it's a good thing that they're investigating the health, the food, the chemicals that they're putting in the food? Do you think that's a good thing? Nope. I said, that's not a good thing. Nope. Then I told my other guy. So basically, if Trump is for something, they're against it. It's that simple. And these are baby boomers who I'm talking to, and they both hate Trump, right? I asked them, I try to ask simple questions to keep myself on the right track and to keep them on track with me. So I asked them, okay, you guys are baby boomers, right? Yeah. When you were growing up, were people obese? Yeah, there were some obese people. I said, you're lying. When you were growing up as a kid in the 60s and 70s, did you see fat people? There was some fat people. I'm like, bro, I can go to my mom's yearbooks right now, yearbooks and picture books, not picture books, but photo albums, and look at my family members from the South. And no one was fat back then, especially in my mom's yearbooks from the 70s. People didn't get fat till like the 90s and beyond. So the point I'm trying to make is no one was fat when y'all were growing up, which they wouldn't even agree to that part. So it's hard for me to go forward because it's almost like they know where I'm going, so they're intentionally trying to get me off track. So I said, scratch that. People were not fat when y'all were growing up. Now all of a sudden there's a fat epidemic. So what they're trying to do, they're trying to figure out what's going on with this food, and they're trying to figure out why all these children are obese. You know what childhood obesity is, right? That you got stuff going on with autism in these children. There's a lot going on that we don't understand yet. And RFK is trying to figure it out, and Trump has him working on that. I'm trying to explain this to them, and we're at work. They were not trying to hear any of that. I'm like, dude, RFK was a Democrat, and y'all still hating Trump for hiring this man? And then one person said, well, he just hired him so he wouldn't look like a bigot. Okay, so it really doesn't matter what the man does. He could hire Kamala Harris and y'all will still be mad. Oh, he just did that to make it look like he's not sexist and racist. Okay. That's why all these clips are resurfacing of him hanging out with Jesse Jackson and G Unit and whatnot. But you really can't. And this goes back to what I said to y'all earlier about when you guys are out observing those little protests they do. They don't care what we have to say. They don't care if you're just speaking normal sense. Kennedy works for Trump. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Okay. And then at the end of the discussion, I shook this man's hand. You know how you give people a side hug? Because the lady, she really hate Trump. But she gonna say, that's why you can't talk to Greg about Trump. Because I can't remember what she said. But she thought like we were like gonna be arguing. We were like a little bit arguing, but not really. Because I was trying to keep us on track. But when the whole discussion was over, I shook this man's hand. I said, this is why I like this guy, because this guy knows how to make me laugh. Something like that I said. We shook hands and side hug. All right, now let's get to work. Because like sometimes when we first clock in, we talk for a little bit. And this dude brought up Trump, not me. But these people don't care what you have to say. They don't care what you think. Their mind is already set in stone, like concrete. They're stuck. Like, you ain't gonna change their mind. It doesn't matter if you give them the right information. Their minds are too stuck. They don't want to receive it. You know, it's like the group chat I was in with my family a few weeks ago. We were talking about some stuff. I wasn't, they were. But the minute I jumped in with some truth, now I'm public enemy number one in my own family group chat. So I said, hey, I was pissed off too when I found out this truth. But I'm just putting it out there. Greg, that's not true. You can't be listening to these YouTubers. Are you saying me and these YouTubers don't have the capacity to do our own research? You think I'm listening to these people just because they're on YouTube? No. These people do their own research, and I can verify much of it. That's why I listen to them. Because they're full of truth. But no, you can't listen to these YouTubers, Greg. They're just saying this to make money. So it doesn't matter what information I show y'all. I'm telling you, It's weird when people are like stuck. Because I used to believe the same mess they believe now, but I don't believe it anymore. But now I'm wrong. You can't be listening to those people. They're just trying to make money. That's why they're saying this stuff. But what do they gain? They're not. Who are they making money from? Merchandise, super chatters. No one's paying them to say what they're saying. But anyway, I told Terry about this briefly with my family members, but people like some of them, some people who I work with, some of the people who were at the rally I went to yesterday, they really don't want to hear it. And they'll accuse you of, you're forcing information on me. You're forcing propaganda on me. No, I'm not. I'm trying to put some truth out there so maybe you'll wake the heck up. I think that's why Jesse Peterson always says, don't try to convince people because they don't want to be convinced. So I understand that. But I only say this stuff when they say crap to me first. Like, if you say something ignorant, if it's something like silly, I won't even like dignify it in many cases. But if it's something like I know it doesn't make no sense, I'm like, wait a minute. Because I see a lot of instances where people be saying stuff and no one corrects them. No one asks them, where'd you get this information from? Who'd you hear this from? Who told you this? They don't care. They just let these people spew whatever nonsense and mess. Not on my watch. I'm at least ask you where you got your source from. TMZ, that's where I got it from. Get out of here. Get out of here. These people, man. That's why, because they already hate you. I'm not there to chat with people. Right. Yeah. I gotcha. So you would never ask somebody, while you're there anyway, you would never ask, hey, do you love the Great White Hope? You wouldn't say that to their face. See, me, something about me wants to like, I shouldn't say this on camera, but something about me just wants to like pick at them just a little bit. Like, I like to see what people say. I like to, for one, when I'm out and about, I like to people watch. But if I'm at an activity, I like to talk to people and engage. Now, if it's the enemy, I still would like to say, do you love the Great White Hope? Because knowing me, they wouldn't be violent with me because I'm swole. But sometimes I do like to troll people. Kind of like Tommy. Tommy curses a lot. But something tells me if I was there, I would have said, hey, got a question. Do you guys love the Great White Hope or no? Who's the Great White Hope? You guys don't know who the Great White Hope is? Where you been? Yeah, Tommy is crazy. We were talking about Tommy earlier. You guys should collaborate, the three of you, a lot more. Like, that could be a banger. It'll be the Terry and Tommy and Jamie Strange show. That'd be a hell of a collaboration. Yeah. Big time. No way. I'm staying away from him. That's funny. I mean, collaborate in the sense that he's good people. But yeah, he's what you could consider, some would say, a troublemaker. Yeah, people get violent with him. But I like him because he welcomes it. He's like, oh, you guys want to get violent with me? I'm just showing how violent you people are. Get it? You said someone threw a water bottle and hit you last time. And everything these people do, that's the only thing Tommy is doing is exposing their behavior. So, yeah, I got no animus. I just got hit by a water bottle. Someone was throwing at him. Okay, so Tommy used you as a human shield. Horrible. No, I'm playing. And for all you know, they could have had ice. It could have been frozen water, right? Thank God it wasn't frozen, but that's why in the chat I say yesterday, get out of there, because, see, everybody would have been safe. And you were safe in all actuality, but Tommy welcomes that mess. What up? Sup? Yeah, Tommy welcomes that. That's my neighbor. Tommy welcomes that ignorance. Yeah, man. He does not shy away from it, and he does start it because that's his mission in many cases. He's the counter protester, and they hate that. They know he doesn't belong there. It's not like he's banned legally, but they know that he's there for that reason. Whereas Terry's saying they're so peaceful and quiet. Nah, not Tom. Not Tommy. Tommy is the opposite of peaceful and quiet. But that's what can make y'all's collaboration so great. You have the peaceful people over here, and you have the loud person over here. They get together and do some real good. That's funny. I don't want to get in the crosshairs. Yeah. You need some rocket power wheelchair. That's what you need. Yeah, that's what Jasmine Cricket said. She was calling not California governor. She was calling the Texas governor Abbott Hot Wheels. We need you to have that. We need you to have that good hover chair from X-Men. That good Charles Xavier chair. If you had a chair like that, you'd be good because you could escape easily. You could dip out of there. Yeah, Professor X. Yep. But with the scooter you have now isn't quick enough to get away from situations like that. So I don't blame you. But if you had that Charles Xavier chair, oh yeah. I mean, you want a good, quick chair in general just for safety purposes in case if you do need to get away from anything real fast. Not just at some rally. You should get like a controller set up to where when you press one button, pepper spray shoots out. You press this button, something else shoots out. Pepper spray on this side, bear spray on this side. Yeah. Keep some tear gas underneath, like where you keep your little purse. You can have a contraption, like in a motorcycle. Have a little hidden pocket, like under where your feet are. That's where you got not the bear spray, but the homemade tear gas. That's what you need is some homemade tear gas. Tommy has a bodyguard that pepper spray. Oh, really? See, I didn't see that part. Or did you not record that part? And I was kind of in and out of a video game myself. Yeah. But I'm curious as to who Tommy's security guard is. And is he even getting paid enough to be that guy's security? Because I don't think Tommy's like rich by any means, right? So it's probably a good friend of his for all we know. But, Tommy is such good people that his security guard is probably doing it for very cheap or for free. Like, if I know you're good people, take Nick Shirley, for example. If Nick Shirley was in my town doing his thing, I would protect him for free. You know what I'm saying? Because that dude is the truth. So I'm thinking, and I don't know Tommy personally, but I'm thinking his bodyguard is probably doing it for free just because he knows Tommy's such a good guy. Now, if he has money to employ this guy, sure, that'd be great. But I don't know people's financial situation. All I know is he's a cool ass dude. He's cool people. But next time the other guy who shows Tommy stuff, next time he's live, I'll send it to you guys. I just can't remember his name. But yeah, crazy stuff. Horrible. Good mango. If you're just tuning in, I'm sipping on Simply Mango drink in the good garage. She asked me if I got footage of anyone being sprayed, and told me he was the one that. Oh, oh. So Tommy's security guard got her pepper sprayed. Oh, yeah, because she was pretty upset, wasn't she? So she wanted his footage for legal proof, basically, to sue the guy. Lady, no offense, but if you don't want to be pepper sprayed, back off of people. You don't know what people are going to do. You don't know what they have or don't have. Tommy is already like 6 foot plus, probably 220 pounds, give or take. He's already a big guy talking crazy. Leave that man alone. Tommy ain't gonna do nothing to you unless you do something to him first. Because he doesn't come off as like a violent dude. So why are y'all trying to get violent with? They try to get violent with him because they're cowards. They got multiple people following him around. That's why he has a bodyguard in the first place. Because of these cowards out here. Which is crazy. Because me, I'm 220 pounds plus or minus. And I would feel comfortable out there in a place like that. Well, here's the thing. They would have to jump me. You feel me? That's essentially what they're trying to do to Tommy. That's why he has a bodyguard. Ridiculous. Oh, the police showed up. See, I didn't see that part. Wait, did I see that? I might have. I can't remember. Yeah. Y'all are wild. And as far as these protests go, all the chants sound the same. I meant to say that in the chat. Free, free Palestine. They all sound the same. And what's the end game here? I could ask, what do you hope is going to happen? But what I should ask is, how are you going to make this happen? That's deep. What do you want to get out of this? How are you going to make that possible? Write that down. That's deep. They have no solution to make it happen. They just want to, yeah, from the river to the sea. They just want to pretty much be word about it. Hate Trump. They can't hate Elon Musk anymore because he doesn't work there anymore. Hate JD Vance, Marco Rubio, Pete Hegseth. Just hate them all. Just hate them all. That's what this protest is about. These people are wild. Like, and they be out there every week. And the sun's coming up. The sun's coming out and it's staying out longer. Starting today. Kids, if you haven't moved your time forward, 1 hour forward, guys. That's how hate talks. But no, And we're approaching summertime slowly but surely. People are going to be coming out in droves, throngs of them. So that's only going to encourage them more. You know, hey, be careful. Again, these people do not care. Oh, yeah, I was saying they all sound the same. At least think of some better chants. You know, they don't have a clue what they want. They're just there to be a part of something. They just want to be there to say, oh, I remember back in 2026, I was in Portland, Oregon, and I was protesting Trump. They're going to be talking about this 30 years from now, 50 years from now. I was out there every weekend protesting the president. Then the grandkids ask, Grandma, so what changed? I don't know what changed, but I was out there protesting every weekend. You idiots. If I'm not going to change anything, I wouldn't even waste my time. You know, I might give you a warning. Hey, if this continues, something bad might happen. But I'm not going to be shouting from the river to the sea about it. I'm not wasting that much time on it. These people dedicate their lives to this stuff. You feel me? I'm like, y'all are better men and women than me, man. Y'all are better than me. And you're just recording. But I'm talking about the people who are out there, out there. And even Tommy, shout out to him, but he's out there as the anti-protester, but he's not going to change their minds because they're already stuck. It's not a normal rally. These aren't normal people who y'all are dealing with. This isn't normal behavior. It's not like a union rally or a jobs rally, something related to work, something that everybody can kind of relate to. No, these people who we're talking about, they're in a totally different universe. Like, there's nothing Tommy can say or do. Because they already hate his guts. They just think he's a Trump MAGA guy. But there ain't nothing y'all can do. It's crazy how their mind is like concrete. It's just, nope, 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 nope. What do you mean, no? I'm telling you the truth. Nope, nope. I could put truth inside this bottle and say, hey, if you drink this, the truth will be inside of you. They'll be like, oh, no, 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 no. I'm not drinking that. I'm like, but I can prove it. The nutritional facts say truth, 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 and truth. Right here. This is truth. I promise. I could be an angel sent down from God, from heaven, and say, hey, if you drink this, you'll have the truth. They'd be like, I don't want truth. I'd rather be fed a cup of lies. I'm just amazed by that, man. Like, it really is crazy. I recognized people from 20 years ago when I was when I was a radical woman. Yeah, I think I heard you mention that. They hated Tommy because he told. Yeah, he did. He told them the truth. I always thought as a kid, truth was a good thing. Like, I wanted more. I was taught as a kid, be honest with people. Tell the truth. Lie. Don't rob a bank. But if you do rob a bank, be honest about it. If you know who robbed the bank, tell on that person. Tell the truth. These people hate truth. You mean to tell me if I robbed you and my brother knew it was me, you wouldn't want my brother to snitch on me and say, hey, yeah, Greg robbed you. You wouldn't want him to tell the truth to the police? You would rather them lie and say, no, I don't know who did it. I have discussions about that with people. The anti-snitching thing. Because some people, I talk to people who are like anti-snitching. I'm like, wait. So if somebody, I shouldn't say the word killed, right? I say, so if someone hurt you and I know who did it, you wouldn't want me to tell the police who did it? Well, it depends on who did it. I'm like, what? It depends on who did it. Because then the wrong people could come after you and all this stuff. I'm like, it doesn't matter who did it. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I'm trying to have a conversation with you. You're saying you only want me to snitch depending on who the killer is. What? That's why we can't get anywhere, people. That's why we that's why we can't get ahead. A crime is a crime, regardless. Y'all talking about only snitch if it's a certain person. No, because the truth should be told regardless of who did it. And I just use robbing a bank as an example because it's fiction. I mean, people do rob banks, but it's an easy example to relate to. Everybody's seen movies when they rob banks. We all know we shouldn't be doing that type of stuff. My point was about truth. Yeah, they hate Tommy because Tommy stands with the truth. And he loves the truth. He really does. He shouts truth. With no fear. I love that dude. That dude's a trip. That dude is a trip. Oh, man. He's something. What else is going on in this world outside of simply drink? I think I should have stretched my shoulder out some more before I exercised. It's getting kind of stiff. Yeah, man. Straight up. Makes no sense. You guys tell me what else is going on in the world. I know there's a whole lot of mess in this here. How does he say it? A whole lot of mess going on in this here world. This is the end of hour 1 of the Greggatron show. Stay tuned, guys. He's a trip. There's some hake footage in the Jasmine Cricket video, too. So, he's in there. It's mostly JLP, though, responding to the ghetto congresswoman and her mess. Ridiculous. Oh. Oh, yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention. Do you guys like my shirt? Yeah. 1.5 hours later, exactly. Do you like my shirt? You've seen this one before. My brother told me, he's like, you know that shit is pajamas, right? I'm like, no, it's not. He's like, yeah, it is. They had pants that go with it and everything. I'm like, I know it's comfortable, but I wear this shirt in public. Are you telling me I wear pajamas in public? He's like, it's a part of the whole outfit. The shirt, that's pajamas. I'm like, whatever, man. Whatever. This shirt's tight. Me and my brother, we have the same shirt. My thing is, well, it was a Christmas present, right? So it never came with pants, pajama pants. That's why I never thought they were pajamas. Because who wears pajamas up top? You wear pajama pants. I mean, kids, they might wear pajama shirts, but I never wore pajama shirts when I was growing up as a kid. Never. You either wear a t-shirt or a tank top or something. You know, a beater. I don't know what he's talking about. This is a straight up t-shirt to me, buddy. But it is comfortable though. And it's got this, see these black little dots. That kind of gives it a texture. So shout out to, I think my dad got us these shirts. So sometimes when we go to the movies, we'll wear matching shirts like this, depending on what the movie is. My brother, he's cool. He cool. It be your own people, Greg. Yeah, your own people. Talking crazy. And it gets to the point where I'm just like, okay, Kennedy doesn't work for Trump. Okay. Okay, fine. Like, I was thinking about calling you about that. Like, yo, I sent you a text, but I was thinking about calling you like, this is crazy. They really don't want me listening to you and ABL. They think you're just doing this for money. They're just saying because they're getting paid to say it. My family member told me this. Terry, it's true. They're only getting paid to say that. Like y'all don't believe what y'all are saying. Well, y'all crazy as heck. I'm just watching these people because they're getting paid to say this. No. The people on CNN, they're getting paid to say that. Like, I'm astounded by that. You're saying independent YouTubers are getting paid to say what they're saying. How's that possible if they're independent? They make money from their own sources. Exactly, these news anchors. What's that woman? Tiffany Cross. Joy Reid. Don Lemon. They were the ones getting paid. They get a script every day. We don't have scripts. Talking about you can't listen to these YouTubers. Okay, well, what do you listen to? Family member? Where are you getting your information from? That's the separation between the generations. The baby boomers get their information one way, and we get our information from a different way. So there is a divide. And then the older we get, the more kids who come in behind us, they're going to continue getting information. A lot of people my age and older now, they get a lot of information from TikTok, like cooking videos, how to cook, how to work on your car, whatever. TikTok has a lot of stuff too now. But my point is, a lot of the information now is getting put out from social media. That's the vehicle that they're using. That's the avenue. So books, shout out to books, but those are not as cool as they used to be. Same with these news outlets. Because a lot of times somebody will post a video with information, and if you have any questions, you can just verify it either on the internet or in a book. So they're saving you some trouble in many cases. And not everybody is a big reader. You know, not everybody has a whole library full of books. And not everybody's going to go to the library to verify information. But with Google and AI now, you can just verify it on there. And most people won't even verify what they hear anyway. I'm just saying, information's a lot quicker to come by now. Because it's already out there in cyberspace. They're just putting it together and putting it out there. You know what I'm saying? There's some motorcycles out. Yeah, I was like stunned. You can't listen to these people. I like these people. These are my people. I'm like, wow. So I can't listen to who I want to listen to. Interesting. Family member. Interesting. How you gonna tell somebody what they can and cannot listen to? That's crazy to me. Do I need to remind you I'm a grown adult male? Like, I don't have the capacity to think for myself? Wow. And I don't have the capacity to do my own research, apparently. That's how much truth hurts people. Like, truth hurts people in the sense that it's like it's hurting their livelihood. Like, it hurts their heart, their spirit. Because when their spirit is of the lie, when that truth gets anywhere near you, their lying spirit repels it. Like a bulletproof vest. If you have a vest on full of lie, and someone shoots you with a little bit of truth, that truth will just bounce off. Like, get off me. You ain't telling me no truth today. Are you crazy? I'm already drowning in the lies. So what little truth you tell me ain't gonna do nothing. I'm truth proof, basically. That's what they're saying. Like bulletproof, they're truth proof. Man, that's deep. Maybe that should be a vest. They should start making vests that look like bulletproof vests or weighted vests. You can put on your truth vest or you can put on your lie vest. Which one is it? And then they distinguish it because like maybe in like white paint, it'll say truth across the top or the front. That's how you know you're a soldier of truth. You gotta get that vest. It's all metaphorically speaking, but whatever. Good video today. I'm just here for the love of the game, she says. The love of what game? No, I'm playing. I love people. Like, I love talking to people and observing people and see how people respond to things. But I'm just amazed when I see when they turn on you so quick and how they act sometimes. Like, man. Your own family members. Like, I thought I was taught to think outside the box, to do my own research. Not anymore. Hey, this stuff ain't nothing nice. It really is crazy. Seriously. Let's see who was all here. Pinocchio's helicopter, the body beat down, James CME, Terry Strange. Shout out to you six. You got red pilled by the manosphere. Yeah. And at the time, I didn't even think about it as red pilling. I was just figuring stuff out on my own, socially. I was watching what was going on with the COVID crap. That's what woke me up was the COVID crap. It wasn't even Trump necessarily per se. Trump was in office when that stuff was happening, but that was just a side effect. The COVID crap woke me up, and the Georgia Florida thing woke me up. The election that was like the third thing that kind of woke me up, but mostly it was COVID. So if y'all still believe what you're told, if y'all still believe that now, after what happened with COVID, y'all still believe whatever they say, I don't know what to tell you. COVID was the proof that you can't believe everything you hear and everything you're told. So I was like, okay. So I don't know all the truth about COVID, but I know something's going on, right? So then I started to search for truth. Because the way that whole thing was dealt with, it didn't make any sense. So thanks to that crap, I started to wake up little by little by little. And then it just led to more information, more truth, basically. Someone who shouldn't be listening to these YouTubers. Okay. So basically, if Dr. Fauci came out, right, Georgia, Florida. So basically, if Dr. Fauci came out right now in 2026 and said, hey, everybody needs to stay in their home for a week, y'all would listen to that, huh? I'm not with that. Like, they don't even care that the same amount of deaths happen in places like Florida that were open 90% of the time. The same amount of deaths happen in Florida as California per capita. Same thing with New York. New York had the same amount of deaths as Florida did per capita. And you want to say these people are right for shutting their states down. Well, then they say, well, it was Trump's fault. Trump left it up to the states. Trump said, let the states manage it. I'm in Illinois. We were shut down. Same deaths as Indiana, which is right next door, who was probably more so open than we were. It's like, people need to think. And then when you tell people this stuff, again, they reject it. Like, there's still people wearing masks to this day. 6 years later, 5 years later, I don't know what to tell y'all. Like, me and my brother went to a conference a couple weekends ago. We got to talk to some people about that stuff. And he agreed with everything we were saying, and we agreed with everything they were saying. That whole thing was just, I don't want to use the word scam and hoax on YouTube, but the whole thing was ridiculous. How dare you think for yourself? How dare you not comply with these mandates? I'm sorry, but last I checked, I support freedom. They were saying stuff like, oh, you're going to kill people. I had a guy tell me that. We need to get this shot, man. He said, we need to get this shot so we can kill this thing once and for all. Talking about the virus. The shots didn't kill the virus. The shots didn't stop the virus. The shots didn't prevent anything from happening. But I had guys telling me that we need to get this shot, man, to kill this thing once and for all. A lot of the people who got the shot, and I'm not just repeating what I've been fed on the internet. No. What up? In the face? Where you been? There's people who I know who got the shot who told me, hey, I'm sick as a dog right now, G. I'm getting phone calls. I'm sick as a dog. I say, you never get sick. I know, I never get sick. But I got it for my job, and now I'm more sick than I was when I had it. Meaning COVID. They're calling me and telling me this. But you don't want me to listen to the YouTubers, right? I don't understand that. Like, I know people at that time in my circle who were having heart attacks. And I don't know if they got the shot or not. I don't know who got it and who didn't get it. Because we didn't go around, not everybody went around telling everybody, I got the shot or I didn't get the shot. I just remember getting phone calls from family members saying, hey, so-and-so just had a heart attack. I'm like, what? And then I got a call from a different person saying, hey, so-and-so had a heart attack. What? Why am I hearing about people who I know personally who, give or take, are in decent health? Why am I hearing about this now? And then I find out, which I already kind of knew it because I already heard it, that was one of the side effects to the damn... Forget it. The only thing they're going to do is take this video down. Greggatron, you shouldn't have been talking about. It's BS, man. Like, I bet the lie police, they're going to come in here and say, this video's taken down as of now. And I'm not even like a conspiracy theory guy. I'm just a guy who was living during that time and none of it made any sense. 6 feet apart. Everybody needs to be 6 feet apart. And then they went down to saying, well, it's okay if you're 3 feet apart. I thought you guys said 6 feet. 3's all right. Well, then a doctor came out and said, actually, it doesn't matter if it's 6 feet or 60 feet. Because if someone sneezes, boom, it flies across the room, right? So the 6 feet thing, that didn't make any sense. But what about the thing with the masks? That didn't make any sense. Don't wear any masks, Fauci said, because we need to keep them for the hospitals and the Walgreens and the CVS. They need their masks. Don't wear any masks. We don't have enough to go around. Oh, okay. Well, then it was, okay, we have enough masks now. Wear masks. Oh, all right. Then it was, well, we should probably be wearing 2 masks. That's what he said. That's common sense. We should all be wearing 2 masks. I'm like, then why didn't you say it in the first place? Then we went back to no masks. Okay. And what about the time we take off work? If you have it, you have to be off for 14 days. Wait, 14 days. Oh, that counts the weekend, right? Or does it? Well, then they say, well, it's 10 days. 10 work days. Oh, okay, 10 days. Well, then they say, well, if you get the shot, you don't really need to take off work at all. What? Well, then they say, well, the Supreme Court just ruled that they can't discriminate against people who didn't take the shot versus the people who did take the shot. So whether you have the shot or not, you can take off the same amount of work as the other counterpart. So what did the shot change? And then they said, well, Instead of 10 days, you can take off for 3 days, whether you have the shot or not. Excuse me? See what I'm saying? None of it made any sense. When this all started, they said, well, if you're sick with COVID or if you think you have COVID, you can take COVID days. So people got their full pay, didn't take any days. I know people who were babysitting their grandkids. That's what it was, because they didn't want to be around people. They didn't want to get their kids sick. I'm like, if anything, the kids would get you sick, but whatever. So they took COVID days in the beginning when it started, just basically to take off work. On their house, they were working on their cars. They were babysitting their grandkids in some cases. I remember that. Well, then the boss said, well, too many people are taking advantage of this COVID day stuff. So if you take off, you're going to have to use sick days. And then they said, well, if you have the shot, you can keep your sick days. But if you don't have the shot, you have to use a sick day. Well, then the Supreme Court said, actually, no, you can't do that. So everybody got reimbursed for their days, whether they got the shot or not. Because in the beginning they said, well, if you have proof that you got the shot, you'll get reimbursed for your sick days. Well, then the Supreme Court was like, well, that's not constitutional. You can't discriminate against people based off whether they have medication in their bodies or not. So a lot of people got reimbursed for their sick days. So basically the people who were off, whether they had COVID or not, or if they thought they had COVID, we all got reimbursed for our days. So basically we got to stay home for free. So that's why I don't complain with that aspect, because I got paid to not be at work. I'm like, okay, I'm just, following along here with this stupidity. But I knew it was stupidity, because something different was happening every week with what they were saying. And I remember at work we were all talking amongst each other because the rules kept changing. 6 feet, 3 feet, 10 feet. Uh, you have to take off. Wait, no, you don't. You can come back, but if you do, you have to wear a mask. But after it all ended, none of it really changed anything, because half the population didn't have the shot, and the people who didn't have the shot still have the same benefits and privileges as the people who did get the shot. Oh, man. I will never forget. I agree, Terry. I will never forget 2020. Like, that stuff was crazy. And then we had people who were protesting, Georgia, Florida. We had that going on. Well, people on the news said, oh, it's okay if they protest. They're protesting for a righteous cause. But they got mad at people for protesting the mask mandates or the lockdowns or the election. Those people know you guys can't protest. But these people over here, they can protest. Excuse me? Like, that whole thing was just, wow. And then they said, well, if you're an essential business like Walmart, Amazon, you guys can stay open. But you mom and pop stores, you're shut down. Wait a minute. So you're telling me that our government has the say so into who stays open and who doesn't stay open? Really? That doesn't sound like freedom to me. So people were losing their jobs because they were not essential jobs. That's why Eminem said, "I'm all for America, f the government," which he's a Kamala Harris supporter now. I don't know how that happened, but yeah, they're gonna tell us who's essential and who's not essential. Oh, really? But why are the strip clubs still open? You know what I'm saying? Why are the liquor stores still open? So I can walk to the liquor store, right, and get some malt licky, but I can't go to the church because the church is closed. So this means there's a lot of unchristian forces at work here. The strip club is, and by the way, the strip club, you're touching on stuff, right? The strippers, they're touching the pole. She might be touching the other poles too, if you know what I mean. She's touching the pole, the stage. You're touching on stuff everywhere you go, but I can't go to a church. I remember, like at the grocery store, the grocery workers were wearing masks, and they expected us to wear a mask. But I'm like, I'm thinking, you know how you want to cuss sometimes, but you don't? I say this stuff in my head. I'm just thinking out loud. The cashier's ringing up my food. I have on a mask. She has on a mask. She's got gloves on. I'm just thinking, B word, I'm giving you cash money that you're going to touch with your gloves, but my hand still touched it. And now your hand is on it. Even with the glove, you still have my germs on your glove. So are you going to change your gloves with every customer? Because you're still handing us change and taking our change. And I'm handing you the food that you're ringing out. What about the cart attendant? He's pushing the carts. He's touching on them. The carts that we just touched. Even if he does have gloves on, his gloves are still getting contaminated with our germs, and he's still continuing to touch all the other carts. So I'm thinking, wait a minute, this virus can't be that dangerous because everybody's still touching everything. Everybody's still touching everybody. The bank, transactions, money, we're all touching the same doorknobs. They try to say, well, wear gloves, protective, what do they call it? PPE, protective equipment, something. They say, well, wear gloves. But we're still touching the same doorknobs and everything else. We're still touching the same keyboards at work and everything else. Door handles, handrails. It doesn't. So basically, as Alien Spaceship would say, basically, you would have to change your gloves after every transaction. See what I just did? You're still touching your face. 2020 was a mess. Like, that's the year you will tell your grandkids. If you were if you were a teenager and up during 2020, you're going to remember all that stuff. I was talking to a kid who went to college, and he was like, college sucks right now, bro. College sucks. I was like, why? He's like, because we're all locked down. We can't go to class. We have to stay in our dorms. We can't go to lecture. The school's basically shut down. We have to do everything in our dorms, basically. I mean, they could drive and go home, but they weren't allowed to be near each other, like for lab or anything. They had to learn everything on the computer. But college, in many cases, is hands-on because you're doing chemistry lab, biology lab, whatever it is. A lot of keyboard work. Like, there's a computer lab at these colleges. But my boy said it sucks because everything's shut down in the school. We can't even. That would suck. Because the bookstore that sells the books, you're still handing each other books, so we can't touch on the same. I tell you, boy, COVID was that was crazy. And when I talk to people about this stuff, they say, Greg, they don't want me to get too deep into it because they know they've been played. Like, I was saying some of this amongst my circle when it was happening, but I was not getting on YouTube because I didn't know enough. I didn't understand enough. I just let it play out just to find out, oh, okay. So the virus is not what they said it is. The vaccine is not what they said it is. The masking and the social distancing is not, or it did not do what they said it would do. Us taking off work didn't change anything. Us using our sick days, whether we were sick or not, we still got reimbursed. Ridiculous. I love talking to normal common sense people about some of this stuff because it's like they get it. Like when me and my brother were at the comic convention, like those people who we were chatting with, they just clicked. They totally understood what we were saying, and vice versa. It's like we were talking to ourselves. We were talking in the mirror. And these were old people, not old people. The lady, she was like 70, and the guy was probably in his 60s. But they totally got it. And we had a good conversation. And we were going to keep on talking, but the convention was going to close in like less than an hour. I said, I still got to look at some stuff. There's still some stuff over there I want to see and potentially buy. But when I'm with common sense normies, I feel like I'm at home. I'm like, yes, there are people out there like you who get it. Because we were talking about truth earlier with Tommy, right? I love people who understand truth because it's just so simple. But then the people who are haters of the truth, they're the ones who get loud and rambunctious and all that. They argue with you. But when you're telling the truth with another truth teller, it's like ping pong. You're just bouncing off of each other. It's great. Common sense ain't so common nowadays, Interface says. The truth is so refreshing. The truth is like this. Like I could drink it all day. You know what I'm saying? The truth is like water. I need that stuff in my life. I need truth. You know what I'm saying? If my car has oil that's leaking, and if I'm in the parking lot, and if I don't see it, and if someone else sees it before I see it, I would hope someone would say, "Hey, buddy, you know your car is leaking oil." I'd be like, "What?" "Oh, thank you for telling me the truth." I wouldn't want someone to lie and say, "Hey, buddy, your car is fine." You know. What if your mechanic did that? What if you take your car to the shop? I just need a checkup, a tune-up, whatever. Just check my fluids for me. Oh, okay. Then the mechanic tells you you need a brand new engine. What? What's wrong with my engine? And he just lies to me. This is just hypothetical. My mechanic doesn't lie to me. You wouldn't go back to that mechanic, would you? If that person just blatantly lied to your face. I'm not going back to that mechanic. My mechanic, however, all we do when we talk, all we do is talk truth. That's all. It's kind of like when you talk to your barber. There's just certain people who you know you can rock with. My mechanic, my barber, my masseuse. I be getting massages once a month. You know, I really stay away from those people who are anti-truth. I just stay away from them. Now, if I work with them, I don't have a choice but to be around them because we have to work together. We got to make this money. But if I know you're full of lies, I'm not bringing nothing up. I'm going to keep it business oriented. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Please and thank you. I'm not getting into stuff with people if they're anti truth. Well, then they might say, well, Greg, how do you know what the truth is? By opening your eyes, by being thirsty for the truth, by finding out for yourself, visually, by experiencing it, seeing it. And you know the truth when you've been lied to before. That's how you can see the difference. That's where the separation comes from. But if you've been lied to the whole time, you wouldn't recognize the truth until you finally do. And then you'll know, oh, I've been lied to. I think the title of this video is going to be Greggatron Talks About Truth. But it won't be truth, it'll be truth. That's that big bump. You gonna get this truth. No, I'm playing. But yeah, if this makes sense, let me know. I think In the Face said something else. It was crazy. I had a riot in front of my old apartment that was across from our local oh, snap. There's a riot right by the police station. Whoa. We were asked to vacate the apartment in case they had to use tear gas, which they did use. Okay. In the Face, while you're here, did you play Ghost of Yote yet? I beat it so far once. I'll probably play it again at some point. I'm gonna focus on Ninja Gaiden. Well, answer my question first and continue because I don't want to say anything that'll spoil. I'll put it that way. Common sense ain't so common. The truth is very simple. Not many people. Yeah. The truth. I need the truth too. The truth shall set you free, he says. That's right, man. See, In the Face, people like him and Alien Spaceship and others, we just get along because we just connect. Because our spirits are both of truth. Same. Oh, I read that part. Sounds like a good title. Yeah. Truth, yeah. I like that. Truth with Greggatron. And I try not to say certain things like get too into it because I don't want my video taken down and I don't want the wrong people to see it and say, look what Greg was talking about. But what I'm saying is common sense. And I don't use people's names either, unless if they're already on YouTube. I'll say y'all's names. Yeah, it was insane. Yes, I did. I beat Ghost of Yote. Okay, cool. I plan on playing it again. Okay, let's talk about this while we're here. So, Ghost of Yote got no Legends mode. What's up with that? I still play Tsushima thanks to Legends, right? And don't forget, Tsushima has that Iki Island, but Yote just has the campaign with New Game Plus, thank God. Every single, excuse me, I'm getting excited over here. Every single player game should have New Game Plus, right? Everything from Spider-Man down on. But yeah, Yote doesn't have the same replay value as Tsushima did. I played Tsushima 3 times, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. At least two or three times, I can't remember. But Yote, I'm like, I can see myself playing it a second time just to skills because I don't have all the skills yet. But I don't know. Without Legends, without that challenge map, and I didn't even like Legends in the beginning. That's the crazy thing. I thought Legends was kind of weird. I'm like, everybody looks like a ghost. This is like Black Ops with ghosts, but it's like samurai stuff instead of military stuff. I'm like, that's weird. Everybody's trying to be a ghost, right? But once I understood the different challenges, there's rivals, there's story, there's different type of challenges that are in Legends. Once I understood what the objectives were, I'm like, okay, this is kind of fun because you don't have to do every type of challenge. Just do the ones that you like to do. But Yote doesn't give you that option. That's why I don't rock with Yote as much. But as far as the story in Yote, even that doesn't have the same magnitude as Tsushima. Like the way they did Jin Sakai, and shout out to the new character too. But the way they did Jin Sakai was perfect. Perfect. The new lady, what's her name? Dang it. See? I will never forget Jin Sakai. What is her name? I want to say Tomoe, but that's not her name. Yeah, let the truth be told. There's a Beanie Siegel song. It's called. Anyway, he's talking to himself, his reflection or something. He's like, let the truth be told. You done smoked every blunt I rolled. You done smoked every blunt I rolled. Drove every car I stole. Cooked up every crack I sold. Something like that. Yeah, man. What's that song called? Anyway. It's coming out this month, I believe. I agree. Oh, Legends is? I'm sure Ghost of Yote will probably go the Ghost of Tsushima. I was thinking about that director's cut. Yeah, I see 8 samurai swords on the wall. Yeah, they're mostly Bokens. Ghost of Yote's Legends mode. And but like, why didn't they drop that in the beginning? You see what I'm saying? Like, why? Like, we're gonna want that stuff. If the game wasn't ready, then they shouldn't have released the game. You know what I'm saying? I see no bravery. I'm trying to picture this song from Beanie Siegel. And I see no bravery. Oh, it's called Dear Self. He's saying, Dear Self, can I talk to you? I've been trying to have this conversation for years, but you won't listen. Are you that plain ignorant? So indignant. Thank you, Atsu. Yeah, Jin was perfect. Jin was like Samurai Jack. I love Jin Sakai. That was my freaking boy. Jin Sakai was cool, man. The way he had to make decisions, especially at the end. I didn't really know the direction Tsushima was going. That's how it kept us on our toes. But Yote, I'm like, okay, I gotta kill this person. Yote was basically like the first Assassin's Creed. Go kill these people, then these people, then those people, then those people. Go kill 9 people. That's what the first Assassin's Creed was. Shout out to that game. But that's all it was. That's why they had to come out with Assassin's Creed 2. They're like, all right, we're going to give you some pickpocket missions. We're going to give you some more eavesdropping missions and all kind of different things. We're going to hook you up with a flying machine, a little glider. Because the complaint was, people said, well, the first Assassin's Creed, you're just doing the same thing the whole game. So they're like, all right, well, we're going to give you this now. So they took everything good about the first Assassin's Creed, but then they gave us more good stuff. Whereas Yote, they're like, well, the story we're going to give you is not going to be as good. The character is not going to be as complex. I mean, her story itself was cool, but she just liked the character Jin Sakai had. Jin was just an all around great character. Like, the best thing about Atsu was her brother, whatever his name was, her brother and her niece. That's when Atsu really started to shine. Because prior to that, she was just a stone cold killer. She was of hate. And her brother was trying to help her, like, no, sis, we don't have to do this. We can leave. We can walk away. And Atsu was so stubborn. See, Jin would have been more level headed and more clear. You know, Jin just wanted to basically defend the people who were still alive, his uncle and others. Whereas Atsu, she was dead on, I need to take out these 9 people, basically. She had a one-track mind, basically. Whereas Jin Sakai, he was able to change more. Jin Sakai was able to adapt. But Atsu, even when she was at a place to where, okay, these people need my help, but the bad guy's over there. So should I help my people or should I go after the bad guys? That shouldn't even be a decision. But she went with the bad guys. I'm like, where's your capacity? She was angry, man. That's what happens when you're angry. But Jin Sakai had so much more capacity. It's almost like we knew what Atsu was going to do before she did it, except for maybe one moment where she spared the spider's life. Was it the spider or the dragon? One of the brothers. Yeah, Jin isn't just the goat of the Ghost games. Like, he's one of the goats, kind of like Kratos. He's just one of the goats in video game history. Really? I would say Jin Sakai, Batman from the Arkham games, Marcus Phoenix from Gears of War, Nico Bellic from Grand Theft Auto 4. Who else? Did I say Marcus Phoenix? Yeah, I said him. Maybe Isaac in Dead Space, maybe. Spider-Man's pretty good in his games. Certain characters are just like phenomenal. And Jin Sakai is definitely one of them. I would definitely put Kratos, especially Kratos, because he adapted very far from the first game. Gotta give Asu some praise because she only has one guy. Jin Sakai had one game character development. It was incredible. I have no idea why they didn't. I'm just as confused, honestly, because Ghost of Tsushima, when it was released on PS4, that's what I thought. It had Legends to begin with. I'm like, maybe the game, they had a due date, and maybe it was just rushed, and they didn't have time to fully incorporate Legends in there. So they said, well, the due date is tomorrow, so let's go ahead and drop it tomorrow, and then we'll give it Legends later. But by then, we're not going to want to play it anymore. Another thing, is Legends going to be free, or do we have to pay for DLC? Because I'm not paying for no Legends. I already paid for that game, which was expensive enough as it was. Just the normal copy was like 60, 70 bucks. You know what I'm saying? So these companies need to get it together, man. Get it together. Her anger and revenge blinded her. She spared. I thought it was the spider. Yeah, thank you. But that's the only time she had development for real, was with the spider. That was the only time. But Jin Sakai had a lot more moments that were like that. Whereas Atsu just had that one moment of development and change. But outside of that, she was like a one trick pony. And then she started to change a little bit when her brother went missing. But after that, I don't know. Like her brother was the best thing about that game. Like that was my dude. Dang it! What was the brother's name, man? Was it Haji? Man, I just said he was my boy. I can't remember his name. Anyway, I kind of wish we could have a. If there's gonna be any DLC, they should make a DLC pack about him because they separated since they were kids. Make a spin-off story of his upcoming when he joined that samurai group. Yeah, man. Maybe the no, I doubt it. I doubt the next game will be about the niece. I don't know. I might need a break from the Ghost games, but I'm definitely getting on Ninja Gaiden 4. Because that's going to be hot. I started on it like briefly. We get the controls down and stuff. But that's going to be the stuff. Okay, let's see if anyone's saying anything. Yeah, her anger definitely blinded her. But if anybody else has any questions or comments or concerns, now's the time. Because I'm about to shut this down. Son. When I was in high school, I had a math teacher. He would say that, son. And then we'd be like, daughter, cousin, aunt, uncle. Yeah, man. Good episode today. If someone just tuned in, I'm about to get out of here, actually. I was just saying, if there's any questions, comments, or concerns, hit me up in the comments real quick so I can answer y'all's chat. If not, hit me up in the comment section below once this video is posted. Or just comment on my other stuff. We'll get it in. We shall talk. Okay. With that said, Jamie mentioned there's all kind of swords on the wall. Yeah, man. I gotta defend my livestock. Hey, man. I gotta defend the good home. I want to go back to that Star Wars store, to be honest. That place was nice. Yeah, I still got to get that Mace Windu lightsaber. I saw it at, I think it was Comic-Con. They wanted like $500 for it. I was like, I don't know if I want to spend $500 right now on a Mace Windu lightsaber. You know what I'm saying? But it's still out there, you know. You can get it. But the only thing about getting a lightsaber, if I get Mace Windu's lightsaber, I'm then gonna want to get Qui-Gon, definitely Count Dooku, Luke Skywalker. I would definitely want his too. There are some decent lightsabers out there that I would get outside of just Mace. Yeah, man. But yeah, I'll definitely start with Mace. Qui-Gon had a pretty good one. Obi-Wan's was alright. Darth Vader's was okay, but I would probably get Count Dooku second because his was real slick. And he was just a really good duelist. Like that dude was clean. That's his swordplay was nice, man. Shout out to Christopher Lee, rest in peace. Real quick, speaking of Christopher Lee, me and my brother were watching a Lord of the Rings movie. It was an animated movie that just came out in 2024. Yeah, it goes hard. That stuff was nice. The animation was really clean. I think I can't remember what they call it, but it's about Helm's Deep, basically, before it's Helm's Deep. And that movie was deep. Powerful movie. Real good story. Real strong characters. But overall, really good animation. So if you have some story, some characters, and some animation that are all good, you can't go wrong. You really can't. Looks like Terry's about to go live. Oh, that's perfect timing. It is perfect timing. Maybe I'll go back in the house. You see, it got dark now. Everybody going live. Yeah. Everybody in the club getting tipsy. When I was a kid, I used to think they were saying, everybody in the club getting tips. Like, you're handing me a tip for cash. Like, you hand your bartender a tip. Because this is the club, right? So I thought they were saying, like, everybody's tipping. Me and my brother used to sing that. Everybody in the club getting tips. Because we didn't know what tipsy meant. My nephew, he's 5. He likes to sing that song. Everybody at the bar getting tipsy. Or whatever that song is. It's like a country song. And we're like, wait, what are they saying? We're like, what does tipsy mean? And he's like, oh. Because my sister, she sings it. She listens to it. So he's just singing what she's singing. And one day I'm like, what does it mean to be tipsy? He's like, he's funny. That's my little buddy. He'll be 6 this month, actually. And my dad, he'll be 70 in a week from now, the 14th. Whatever day. That might be Saturday, I think. He's about to be 70, and the little homie, he's about to be 6. That's my buddy. But yeah, I think that's all I'm going to say for now. And I think I'm going to talk to you guys later. With that said, peace.